As you can see here, we got a nice chunk of feces, you know, and so first you have to smell it. Smells right. And now I gotta just give it a taste to get the impression, see what it's all about. So here we go.
Hi, I'm Scuffed, call me Carson, and welcome to Bootleg Video Vigilante. Ethan Klein has done a lot for the YouTube community, and his main channel videos are pretty funny. So why am I making this video? Because he's a hypocrite, and he can't take criticism. This story begins with a very sexy dude that goes by the name of Gokanaru. To give a bit of backstory, Gokanaru made a video on h3h3 in 2018, October 27, and in his hour-and-a-half long video, Gokanaru basically explains why he and a bunch of other people have lost respect for Ethan Klein over the years, starting with him making lazy content on his podcast, and just being a hypocrite and a douchebag in general. The video was really good, and exposed a lot of things about h3h3 that was brought to light through this video, and it got other people in the community to talk about how h3h3 is a scumbag. Well, it took Ethan around a year and a half to respond to Gokanaru's video, which was earlier this year, with a 3-hour-long podcast. And with this 3-hour-long podcast, there are a few issues I just want to go along with his response to Gokanaru, because it wasn't the best, and the points that were really good were because he addressed them. He avoided most of the points, in my opinion. My first issue with Ethan's response to Gokanaru was the portion with Shoenice. Shoenice was invited onto the podcast for Ethan's benefit, so he could use him as a pawn, basically, against Gokanaru. And in this podcast, Shoenice had made this statement.
Shoenice asked him to remove that part from the video.
I would have never expected that as a twist.
And then Gokanaru told him to fuck off. So who's being the bully to poor Shoenice?
Yeah, that's...
Poor protected Shoenice.
Wow.
What?
And as you can see, Ethan is just taking this as pure fact. No allegedly or anything like that. Taking it as pure fact. So all the people watching this podcast are going to be manipulated to the point where they're actually going to believe that Shoenice is the reason why it had been taken down. Shoenice claims that he had the video removed because Gokanaru had his son in the video. Not his actual son, but someone that looked like him. Later on in the podcast, Ethan made this statement.
A few months ago, the video was removed by YouTube for creator-on-creator simulated violence.
Wait, what?
Shoenice admits to taking down both of his videos, reporting it to his YouTube rep and getting them removed for harassing Shoenice. The video was removed for creator-on-creator simulated violence. So it was you reported his videos to YouTube and got them removed. The video was removed for creator-on-creator simulated violence.
And also, confirming that he was the one that got it taken down?
Yeah.
Dude, that was crazy.
Fuck off. Apparently it was all Shoenice. But I totally...
Well, make up your mind, Ethan. Was it taken down for the new simulated violence guidelines like YouTube themselves confirmed, or was it taken down by Shoenice, who provided you no evidence of ever having reported any of my videos, and who you've called in the past desperate, insane, and a recipient of serious brain damage? Come on, man. Keep your narratives in check. It's only a 3-hour-long podcast.
He was basically caught lying in his podcast. So with the portion of Shoe Nice when he was believing what Shoe Nice was saying and all that, I think it's very obvious to everyone watching that Ethan knew what Shoe Nice was saying was complete horseshit, but was just going along with it because it fits his narrative. And the reason why this is a big issue in my opinion is because Ethan was caught out lying in his response video. Does it give any credibility to him whatsoever? No! It doesn't. If some of you are thinking that this isn't even a lie, let's have a look at the definition of a lie. A lie is an assertion that is believed to be false, typically used with the purpose of deceiving someone. Practice of communicating lies is called lying. A person who communicates a lie may be termed a liar. And Ethan Klein, you are a liar. My second issue with it was when Ethan said he was going to react to the podcast in full. He had advertised it twice on his Twitter, and in the podcast, he just didn't react to it in full. He had skipped chapters 7 and 8.
Because chapter 7's about that I'm not funny.
Well, it's more about the fact that you're so repetitive with your jokes that they become unfunny and almost hypnotic. And I also mentioned that you constantly use sarcastic, backhanded compliments to undermine people without fear of criticism.
Then chapter 8 is about that we sometimes misreport things and get information wrong. And that I totally own. I own it. You're right. I get stuff wrong all the time on this podcast. So that's fine.
And there's just another handful of shit that he just skipped over.
And there was a lot of points where the damning elements you just skipped right over, right? Like you extending the title after adding William's name, and this 2-panel comparison between you talking to Jimmy and you talking to Bill Burr, skipping over it and not addressing it. While I understand, it makes you look a little bit like this is more of a defense than an honest reaction, which is the case. It's a defense.
Here's a small clip of chapter 7.
We've had a little bit of a altercation with Prank Invasion.
You remember Prank Invasion? A bit of a meme, yeah.
I'm a pudgy little guy, and Prank Invasion literally just got out of prison for 3 years for some kind of sexual crime.
Holy shit, really?
That is not
Well, it's
literally.
well, I don't know what no, it is a joke.
Oh, it's a joke.
It is a joke. What I'm saying. Do I need to say that every time?
Well, yeah, because your delivery was fucking terrible and lazy. I mean, it's still kind of funny though.
I wouldn't be surprised. Can I say that if he went to prison for a sexual crime?
His jokes are always better the second time.
I wouldn't be surprised if he went to. I wouldn't be surprised at all. I'm anticipating it.
The third.
I am scared of you. That's not like unmanly to admit that I'm scared of some unhinged psychopath who's roided up and just got out of prison for a sexual crime.
Wow, this is fucked.
You literally repeated me saying I was scared that you were in prison for a year for a sexual crime and were lifting weights that whole time. I wouldn't be surprised at all if that guy went to prison for a sexual crime within the next couple of months.
I could see some rumors starting to pile up that
Of
he
what,
actually went
the
to
rumor
prison for a
that
year.
Chris went to prison for a sexual crime?
Yeah.
Chris went to prison for a sexual crime, Hila? It's a joke. He didn't, but I wouldn't be surprised.
I know that you're joking. It's very obviously a joke. You're saying, look at his face. His face is a rapist face. Look at his dumb rapist face. I think it's one of those jokes you really have to repeat it 1,000 times to really understand where the humor comes from.
I'd like to let you in on a little bit of a fucking discovery I've made over these many days of editing this video. You see, much like how iDubbbz coined the phrase the anti-insult for Leafy, I too have discovered a little habit of our good old pal Ethan. Now this one is called the H3 joke. You see, it's clever because the H stands for hypnotize, and then the 3 stands for the number of steps involved. Now step 1 is pretty simple, okay? All you have to do is make a slanderous or damaging comment that is either completely untrue or extremely exaggerated. Something Ethan's more than capable of doing.
And Prank Invasion literally just got out of prison for 3 years for some kind of sexual crime.
And then there's the second step, which is even simpler. Just repeat that comment over and over and over. Really make sure you're drilling it into the head of your viewers.
I wouldn't be surprised, can I say that, if he went to prison for a sexual crime. I wouldn't be surprised if he went to, I wouldn't be surprised at all. And just got out of prison for a sexual crime. That you were in prison for a year for a sexual crime. That guy went to prison for a sexual crime.
Yeah.
Chris went to prison for a sexual crime?
Yeah.
Chris went to prison for a sexual crime?
And then there's the third step. And you see, the third step is very important because without this, you might get into a little bit of trouble. This is because the third step is to say that it is a joke.
For a long, long time. Just a joke.
Or to say that you love the person or the person is a legend.
Jimmy's a legend. The guy's a legend. He's a legend. Welcome the legend.
You see, this is genius, because it allows you to completely slander this person and convince people subconsciously that this person is a bad person or unworthy of their respect. But at the same time, you get to avoid criticism by saying that it's a joke. And of course, the viewers assume that you're honest when you say these things, but in reality, these comments are only meant to put the person down. And the statement of loving them or it being a joke is only meant to cover your ass. Now, knowing these 3 steps, try watching an episode of the podcast and tell me if you can get through a single one without seeing an H3 joke. For me, after watching so many episodes of the podcast, I've realized that Ethan has a very unique skill. He is able to reach a level of 100% sarcasm, meaning that he can make it to a point where literally he can say one thing, and in the mind of his viewers, the exact opposite is interpreted.
Jimmy's a legend. The guy's a legend.
And honestly, this strategy is impressive in a way, because instead of using those harsh words, the words that he is actually thinking when he speaks of these people, you know, things like they're a loser, they're a piece of shit, or they're not worthy of your respect, instead of saying that directly to the viewer, he gets to subconsciously imply it and kind of reinforce it in their heads. But by masking it under a heavy layer of sarcasm, you get to avoid any form of criticism, because your exact words are not offensive. The intention is still malicious, but the exact words, you can't call them out for those. Honestly, Ethan, you've kind of inspired me, man, because that's a really good method of making it clear that you hate someone. So to everyone watching, I just want you guys to know that I think Ethan is just a legend. I love that he still makes fun of his fupa, and I think he's just a funny guy overall, to be honest with you. I think his jokes are very creative, and I think he's a very honest person, especially with his fan base. But most importantly, I don't think that the H3 podcast will crash and burn. Ethan? Am I doing it right? This is where Ethan shows that he's a fucking idiot.
In Pennsylvania, there's an epidemic, an actual pedophile ring, okay?
Of priests.
300 priests. I don't know how many priests are in Pennsylvania, but I can't imagine more than like 1,000. I mean, I don't know what's the number, but what is that? 30%? How can you talk about Pizzagate when the Catholic Church is literally a satanic cult?
Wow, man. You really like exaggerating. So he takes random articles, he reads the title, and he reacts to them. And I don't think that he actually reads the articles. He might, but I don't think he does. I think that he has, as you can see on the podcast if you watch them, he has the people who work for him kind of explain the rough ideas of what the article is about. So obviously his opinion is not that informed. And it's not like he's looking at multiple sources or like backing his shit up. It's, you know, just shooting the shit in front of 1 million people. 1 million impressionable people.
What exactly does the Catholic Church do except rape kids? To be so productive that they're peeing in bottles because they're actually afraid to take a bathroom break. This isn't America. This sounds like conditions in sweatshops in China. Dude, the more and more I learn about shit...
It's really depressing to hear that about Amazon.
But also, Jeff Bezos is worth nearly $1 trillion. So hire a couple more people. So that's what I mean about these psychopaths.
Yeah, he's the richest man in the world, right?
He's the richest man in the world. And hire more people so people can go to the bathroom. That doesn't even come close to affecting your bottom line. When you personally are worth $1 trillion fucking dollars.
Yeah.
Holy fuck, Ethan, you're actually an idiot. Jeff Bezos is worth a fucking $160 billion. A 2-second Google search would have told you that. But you know what? Honestly, you're only off by like $840 billion, so fuck it.
Title: Amazon warehouse workers allegedly pee in bottles to avoid punishment. While Amazon is known for revolutionary e-commerce with its quick delivery system for a variety of products, its workers allegedly sacrifice toilet time to meet the company's demands. Workers in the UK... Oh, this is in the UK, so what the fuck did I just talk about?
This particular article is about a UK one.
The h3h3 production has always been about logical. We break it down and we think about it.
It's honestly fucking surreal watching these segments that were so good in Ethan's mind that they were uploaded separately to the Clips channel. Like, they were that worthy of content.
But like I said earlier, if he's going to advertise it to him react to it in full, he should have fucking reacted to it in full. Which, by the definition of, again, is a lie! But we've already established that Ethan Klein's a liar. Hey everyone, I'm Ethan Klein. And I'm going to be responding to Gokanaru's video he made on me about 5 years ago.
As if he supports John, because the...
Yeah, okay, I get it. You're right. I shouldn't have done that. I messed up. You're right. Yep. This is all true. Yep, you're right. Dude, you are completely right. I understand completely. Oh my god. This is... Alright, here you go.
how to have restraint.
And you were in an emotional state at the time.
Dude, that was like, I didn't even mean it like that. It was just, that's just what happened. I'll take accountability for that, whatever. Let's just...
Forgivable. If you weren't such a fucking hypocrite.
Yeah, but how am I a hypocrite? You haven't shown any point throughout this whole reaction of how I'm a hypocrite. There's nothing here, dude. You just didn't do anything. It's just, I'm gonna be honest, it was an okay video. It's just, it didn't really have proper points against me. I just thought I'd make that clear.
That other guy's asking, if you could sucker punch anyone you wanted from all throughout history, who would you punch and why?
The one person I would say I can't say because of I can't say. Maybe you can read between the lines, but I can't say.
Okay, I think I know who.
I wouldn't say it publicly because it wouldn't be worth it.
Okay, who's somebody you can say publicly?
I can't. I'm not even going to say it.
Do you just want to punch?
I'm not even going to say it. There's one person in particular. Ela, if you could sucker punch one person, she knows what I'm talking about. I definitely punch this guy.
Yeah.
I don't need I don't need a travel machine to sucker punch this guy.
Vince McMahon. I just gotta make a decision.
So that's it. I can't say his name. Otherwise, it'll be bad news.
Fair enough.
But I think hopefully enough people know who I'm talking about.
Hello everyone, I'm glad to be back on Jay's channel. My name is Piku, and I've been given the privilege to talk about the content nuke brought upon us by the great Ethan Klein, Papa bless, which he detonated onto Daniel Keem, or Keemstar, as literally everyone knows him as. I'm actually quite glad I got to talk about the content nuke because there's a few things in that video I want to talk about in today's video on Ethan. Specifically,
two things
that I want to talk about, and that is the swatting and also the sponsors. So let's get into the first topic, the swatting incident. So if you don't know, I'll put it briefly. Some guy tried to swat his Call of Duty rival after losing a wager match in COD over $1.50.
One of those calls leading to the deadly police shooting of an innocent man about 1,400 miles away. Here's ABC's Will Carr.
Tonight, the man behind this prank 911 call.
I shot him in the head and he's not breathing anymore.
Swatting prank that turned deadly.
I already poured gasoline all over the house. I might just set it on fire.
Tyler Barris has admitted to swatting, calling authorities and triggering SWAT teams across the country to surround the homes of unwitting victims.
Walk this way!
In 2017, Barris thought he was swatting the home of a video game rival after a fight over a bet for $1.50.
Show your hands!
But police swarmed Andrew Finch's home, an innocent man with no connection to the game. He was shot and killed by police who thought he was reaching for a gun.
That's right. He tried to swat a guy over $1.50 and he ended up getting the wrong address and killing someone because he told them he was killing people inside their house. The police, or the SWAT team or whatever, were sent to the person's house, and as he was walking outside, he was reaching for what police thought was a gun. They then shot the man dead, and it turned out to be completely wrong, false, and not even the right guy that the guy was meant to be swatting. He got the complete wrong address and just killed an innocent father. Keemstar actually invited the swatter onto Drama Alert for an interview about the swatting and stuff like that. And once he got this guy, the swatter Tyler Barris, onto Drama Alert, he verbally confessed almost straight away into the interview that he did it.
So you were involved in this swatting where the 28-year-old man was shot and killed, correct?
Allegedly, I was involved.
Allegedly. Well, you took responsibility on Twitter, and then your Twitter got suspended, right? Okay, so what happened in this situation? You were playing a competitive match?
I was minding my own business at the library. Someone contacted me and said, "Hey, dude, this fucking retard just gave me his address, and he thinks nothing's gonna happen. You wanna, prove him wrong?" And I said, "Sure, I love swatting kids who think that nothing's gonna happen." And then I followed the kid that he wanted me to swat. He basically messaged me with an address saying, well, I'm waiting for you to do something, pussy, this and that. And then, an attempt was made to swat that address.
So you swatted that address, correct?
Sure. Sure.
And because he verbally confessed on Drama Alert, he actually helped the police in getting him to plead guilty, giving him a 20 to 25 year sentence in jail for causing the murder of an innocent man, Andrew Finch. And Ethan somehow tried to communicate to his audience that that was a bad thing. What is this logic? Not only did he help put the swatter in jail for 20 years, he actually set up a GoFundMe for Andrew's funeral expenses, and he donated $1,000 himself. And the GoFundMe raised almost $30,000. How is that a bad thing? Like, it wasn't even hard to find either. It was in the next video about the swatter saying he's been arrested. It's the first link in the description. The literal first link. Mind blown. This kind of segues into the next point which I want to get into, which is the sponsors. Ethan literally watched Keemstar help police put away a murderer for 20 years or so, and he tried to target the sponsors, as if one, it was a bad thing, and two, they had anything to do with it in the first place. Ethan mentioned something about, the interview brought to you by the killer, the swatter, is also sponsored by G Fuel.
Keemstar cashed in big time on this whole ordeal. And I also, if I recall correctly, the interview brought to you by the SWAT murder was also sponsored by G Fuel. Use code KEEM for 10% off of your life expectancy.
The sponsor isn't endorsing the killer, it's endorsing Keemstar. Keemstar's the one helping the police put this guy away. I'm not saying what they're directly endorsing or not endorsing. They're sponsoring Keemstar, Keemstar's channel, Drama Alert. They're not sponsoring the killer swatter. Like, that's two very black and white different things. Also, not only that, G Fuel was the sponsor when the guy was put away. You didn't even mention that. Ethan even tweeted out saying something like, G Fuel is a part of his brand as much as his beard is. It's his identity, right? Which I get. However, you still know it's a company with a reputation that could be ruined if said company was talked about badly in a video. You know this. You've got your own business.
Isn't it wonderful that Keemstar is giving this murder the opportunity to place blame on others, totally uncontested?
Okay, so I want to talk about this bit as well. He didn't blame others. He literally confessed almost at the very start of the interview that he did it. Like, did you even watch it? Did you even watch the interview? I know you said give him the chance to blame other people, but they caught him anyway. So even if he did blame someone else, he would have been caught anyway. In fact, for those of you who did watch the interview, you might have noticed that the middle/end of it wasn't very organized. It was kind of rushed, or not even right. Like, there was not really any flow to the conversation, and that's because the only thing that Keemstar wanted out of the person was the verbal confession to hand to police or to prove to you that he did it. And he even clarified that in a Twitter video. Very easy to find. You just advanced search the Twitter, type in swatter or whatever, and it's like the third or fourth video to come up.
Quick update for those of you that might not know yet. The swatter has been arrested. He is in police custody. I wanted to give a little backstory of what was going on with this interview and what we were doing and why we were doing it. But I didn't want to say anything until he was arrested, until he was in police custody. The people that hack and SWAT in the COD community, they primarily do it for attention. Now, that's not the same for all people who SWAT or hack or whatever, but in the COD community, primarily the goal is to get attention. And we knew that, so we started talking to everybody around this guy and everyone associated with this guy, hoping that he would reach out to us for attention. And that worked. He tweeted at me saying that he wanted to talk to me, jumped in the DMs and said that I will talk to him if we do an interview. He told me that he had limited time and he had to do it right away, so I had to rush over here and I didn't have time to prepare for this interview at all. At this time, I didn't even know if he was actually involved in playing the COD game for $1.50 or not, or if he was just a third party. But I didn't have time to organize all the facts. I just had to do this interview right now. And my main objective with the interview was to get him to verbally confess to what took place. That was my only goal, and I had all these strategies and all these techniques that I would pull the truth out of him. But as you saw in the interview, he verbally confessed to it right off the bat, and then I was just lost. I got so much praise all around the world saying that I did a good job on the interview, but quite frankly, I did a really bad job. as soon as he gave me the confession, like, I didn't know where to go from there. I asked him about, you know, do you have parents? He said he doesn't have parents. Like, there should have been a follow-up question, like, what do you mean? And then the guy just kept throwing me off by not being remorseful at all or sorry for what took place. I was just, like, at a loss for words. Like, my brain stopped working.
I'm saying this because Ethan was actually criticizing how bad Keemstar was at interviewing. Like, he was critiquing his interviewing skills as if he had any other motive than to get the confession out of the guy. He wasn't going to tell the swatter that he was trying to get a confession out of him just to hand him over to police. No, he was trying to give him this false, like, platform to get his attention and 15 minutes of fame and whatever. However, it was fake just to get the evidence. Like, if you ask someone who wants attention if they did something to get attention, they're going to be like, yeah, sure, I did it. That's right, I did it. I'm invincible. Until they're not invincible because they literally confessed to a murder. Yet you critique his interviewing skills, which he clarified later. Before the video that you made came out, I might add. You wouldn't even know that he was a murderer until later, because in the interview he confesses verbally. He might have even gotten a shorter sentence / no sentence at all if he didn't verbally confess on Keemstar's channel. I mean this in the absolute sense of the word. Ethan is a moron sometimes.
I'm sure some of you remember the Just Destiny situation that happened around early last year. I don't quote me on that. I'm not 100% sure of when exactly it happened. I'm sure it was last year. Well, in h3h3's content nuke on Keemstar, he had this to say.
Just Destiny is a YouTuber who made the very regrettable decision of using underage girls in his thumbnails. Keemstar took that and ran with it, insinuating that he is a pedophile, with zero evidence.
Do you touch kids?
Oh my god. Really?
But do you? Do you touch kids?
That was completely taken out of context. Now, Keem never actually insinuated that this guy was a pedophile on any other platform, not on his Twitter, believe it or not, or on this video, and you're welcome to check yourself. h3h3 fails to mention that there was a kid called LT Cobra, and this small YouTuber was in beef with Just Destiny because he had made a video about Just Destiny saying that he uses these young girls in his thumbnails, and he was insinuating, you could say, that he was a nonce. Well, he wasn't actually saying it or I believe he was joking. I'll leave a link to his original video in the description below. He had basically just said Just Destiny was a bit of a nonce. Do I think Just Destiny is a nonce? No. He was using underage girls, like sexually explicit in his thumbnails for views, which is pretty fucked up in any standard. So for h3h3 to say that Keem was the one calling him a nonce and a pedophile is retarded, and in the clip he showed of him saying, do you touch kids, was in the interview because Keemstar was interviewing him about the whole situation, about him using those girls in his thumbnails. I don't think Keem worded the question right, but is he wrong to ask something like that as an interviewer? No, not at all.
After losing 3,000 subscribers for this interview, Keemstar declares war on Just Destiny.
Dude, I got so much shit for that. Dude, I lost almost 3,000 subscribers. I'm going to war with this motherfucker.
Out of pure spite, Keemstar releases all of his public information on the internet. Here's an example of what my docs bin looks like. It has my name, birthday, home address, all of my phone numbers, my parents' phone numbers, and my parents' home address. This is released with the express purpose of harassing and often leads to swatting as well. Here he is admitting to doxing him.
I doxed him. What are you going to do about it? I'm literally telling you right now, what do you think's going to happen to me? You said to Augie, this is going to be a big story that Keemstar doxed Destiny. I doxed Destiny. Where is the big story? Yeah, I dox people all the time. I run a news show. Like, it's literally part of the job.
He brags about doxing many people because he runs a news show. Now, I don't know what kind of news show Keemstar's running, but I don't remember the last time Anderson Cooper had to find out someone's mom's phone number and post it online.
Now, Keemstar did dox Just Destiny, and Ethan says that he had released this information publicly. Keem hadn't done that. What Keem had done is he had found out this guy's information via a Google Plus account, I believe, which was public at the time, and Keemstar had found this and got information about Just Destiny. Why did Keemstar dox Just Destiny? Well, Just Destiny, the kid that I was talking about earlier, LT Cobra, the video he made on Just Destiny had copyright striked his video down, filed a false copyright strike against this kid. Now, LT Cobra, the way to appeal copyright strikes, which by the way is stupid, you have to give in your address, phone number, postcode, and a lot of personal information such as your real name. And once he had done that, all this information goes to Just Destiny. So Just Destiny had all this information, and he had done this in the hope hopes of getting contact with the kid's parents. And he had actually filed a cease and desist and sent it to LT Cobra, a legal document. So Keemstar doxed this guy. He never released this information publicly, but he did this to help the kid. And once he had this information of Just Destiny, the only person that he leaked this information to was LT Cobra. Keemstar gave Just Destiny's information to LT Cobra, and once LT Cobra had this information, Just Destiny just went silent. Nothing else happened anymore. He backed away from the situation and ended up apologizing to the kid. Ethan left so much information out, it actually fucking hurts. Like, it's just so fucking annoying. So yeah, Just Destiny, Ethan Klein, both cunts. Both cunts. So in this part, Ethan shows a clip of Keemstar swatting someone and saying this.
Doxing leads to swatting. Keemstar clearly knows this.
Swatted so fast.
He's fully aware of the consequence of saying this.
We need this dude's address. We need to drop his address.
And swatting sometimes leads to death, as we'll find out later in this video.
People need to know where this dude lives.
Now I'm gonna get swatted. Look at them all there. They're fucking everywhere. These cops are everywhere. Thank you. I wonder who did this one.
I'm sorry, I am recording for the...
Well, Ethan left out another juicy part of information.
Called you guys, I'm like, listen, it's fake, it's not true.
Keemstar is shocked that people think he's responsible. Of course, he never called the police himself. That would be illegal. He just gleefully put the information on his stream, daring any of his followers to do it for him.
And this might have mattered, mostly because that had nothing to do with Smile for YouTube. Smile for YouTube had claimed that was about Keemstar when he was spotted. That wasn't even about him. That clip of Keemstar saying that is irrelevant to Smile for YouTube. And Ethan knows this yet again, but he's leaving everything out of context. Let me show you a clip of Keemstar basically explaining what Smile for YouTube had done to him.
Video has proof of your doxing. Of course we tried to fucking dox Smile for YouTube. Smile for YouTube was harassing me on a daily basis. Who remembers Smile for YouTube spamming the chat with my personal information? Those that remember this and witnessed it, type a 1 in the chat. Who remembers Smile for YouTube sending me 40 fucking donations a day here on Stream Me over and over again just to charge them back? Type a 0 in the chat. Who remembers Smile for YouTube DDoSing my stream over and over again for months on end? Type a D in the chat. Members during this whole time period, which was roughly about 4 or 5 months ago, all right, I mean it lasted for a whole year, being swatted over and over again on my stream. Although, actually, I can't even say that because nobody on my stream would even know that I was swatted, because when I do get swatted, I get up, I leave, I answer the door, talk to the cop, and I don't want to give anyone the satisfaction of being swatted. So no one in the stream could possibly even know that.
Also, h3h3 made the claim that he was endangering children for swatting Smile for YouTube, which I've just showed you that it wasn't about him.
This is a man that's willing to endanger children over a petty internet beef.
Now, Smile for YouTube did dox Keem. In fact, here's even some of his old tweets to prove it. Offline again, Keem. Smiley face. Someone is going to need a new door in the AM. There's a bunch of different places where you can find old tweets from Smile for YouTube, from his old Twitter account. These are just a handful of some of them. I know they're very low quality, but they're not easy to get anymore, since the Twitter account is no longer a thing. So the only way to get information like this is on the Wayback Machine, or just screenshot from other YouTube videos of showing it. But everyone knows that these screenshots are real, because we all know what Smile for YouTube. If you was around in 2016, then you probably know who this guy was. And here's a clip from Gamer for Mars that explains a bit more in depth about Smile for YouTube. I'll just play that right now.
He had turned on both BasHere and Keem shortly after the now infamous interview. He began swatting Keem and his mods frequently, although he later tried to claim that Keem was in fact the one swatting him. As for BasHere, Smile was reportedly trying to extort him out of $10,000, and if he didn't pay up, Smile threatened to murder him by sending a SWAT team to his house. Later, he found BasHere's mother's address and sent a SWAT team to her house on 4 occasions.
Keemstar had doxed Smile for YouTube to report him to the police because this guy was a criminal. He swatted BasHere's mum, for fuck's sake. He threatened to kill him, get him killed. So that's why he wanted to swat him. That is a crime. And are we surprised that Ethan Klein left it out? I'm not, and neither should you. Keemstar had already clarified that it wasn't him in the video that I showed you earlier about the swatting in his response to Ethan.
Somebody swatted him, and he filmed it and blamed it on me. So why exactly was there a clip of me on stream sitting here trying to find this information? to report the criminal to the police, which we did. Me and my moderators were being harassed by this individual for months.
I need to talk about the Tony situation for myself for a bit, so I have some things I want to say about it. Obviously, most of us know the situation with Tony and Keemstar. I'm not going to get into that, you can do your own research with that. But when Keemstar had falsely accused him of being a pedophile, Keemstar was doing everything in his power to obviously make things right with the guy. And he did this by trying to be his friend. Keemstar is a complete cunt for doing this, okay? Now Keemstar will always be a cunt for that. That point, if it's ever made against Keemstar, as fucking vague as it is to me at this point, because every time someone makes fun of Keemstar, they always bring up that point, and it's almost lost its meaning at this point. But over time, Keem had tried to settle things with him, and Tony had actually forgiven Keemstar on his stream, and actually was on the phone to him.
But I want to tell my stream, I'm talking to Keemstar. Every time I've ever talked to him, he's been a perfect gentleman, been really, really accommodating to me, been really, really nice to me. So, seriously, since we talked the very first day, I mean, since some bullshit happened, when me and you talked the very first day, you were really nice to me. And like I said, I've always gotten the impression you're a nice guy. And I know that if you don't want to be nice, you can be not nice, okay? But you've been nice to me, you know what I mean? And so, why do I give a shit about anything else? You know, in life, you got to worry about how people treat you, not what everybody else's problems are. You know what I mean? Honestly and truly, I had some pretty big YouTubers want me to talk and want me to say this shit and that shit. And I told them, I'm not going to do that because you're asking me to lie, okay? You've been nothing but nice to me. You know, what happened over a year ago, who gives a shit? I mean, that's really the truth. And nobody should be mad at you because I'm not mad at you. Does that make sense? I have no problem telling the world that. If I made a bad mistake and it messed with you, I'd want you to get past it and I'd want you to forgive me. Does that make sense?
Do many of you remember Tommy NC 2010? The person that Leafy had made fun of back in 2016 and actually made him cry?
Hello, folks. I'm having a difficult time right now because some people are threatening my life, threatening my family, and all I wanted to do was inspire people.
Well, h3h3 ended up defending him against Leafy and was just being really nice to him. Well, I'm gonna let this clip with Keemstar take the stage. Go on, you gnome. Come on, you fat fucking gnome.
And Tony, quite frankly, I hope I have your attention right now because I need to talk to you directly. This is important. Recently, you've been saying, oh, I love the h3h3 fans and I love Ethan Klein. And Ethan is pretending to be your friend. He had this to say. Roll it.
He's threatening me. All of my friends can't wait to just dogpile on you. Yeah, well, I've got friends too, Keemstar.
Listen, Tony, Glory and Gold, listen to me. Ethan Klein is not your friend. He is simply using you as a pawn to attack me. And how do I know this? Because years ago, Ethan Klein made a video against LeafyWasHere talking about how Leafy was bullying an autistic man by the name of Tommy NC 2010. Ethan sent all this love to Tommy NC. He was acting like he was there and he was Tommy NC's friend. But let me just tell you, years after this took place, Ethan Klein has completely ignored this man. Look at all these tweets of Tommy NC, the autistic boy, trying to get Ethan's attention. Ignored and ignored and ignored for 5 years, making videos pleading to get Ethan's attention. He's tweeting at him over and over. Ethan, I thought you cared about this autistic man. Why aren't you picking up the phone? In fact, just the other day, Tommy NC had this to say. Roll it.
Ethan, it's me, Tommy NC 2010. You defended me back in 2016. Then you made a promise to me you would come on my show. And basically what happened was you snubbed me. What happened? Why'd you snub me, man? Did you just forget about me? I've DM'd you a bunch of times. So, what happened?
Yikes! Do you see what I'm saying, Glory and Gold? You're just being used as a pawn. And I know you're happy right now that you have all these views. Good on you. But Ethan Klein is not your friend.
I swear to God, if I ever see another video criticising Keemstar again, I just honestly know what to expect at this point. Making exposed videos on Keemstar has actually lost its fucking meaning at this point. Unless Keemstar does really horrible shit in the future, it's just going to be the same fucking shit repeated over and over and over again until it's eventually drilled into your fucking everyone's heads to the point where everyone's going to be like me and just not care about it anymore. And that fucking sucks because what Keemstar did to this old guy was disgusting and despicable. But the fact that it's brought up every single fucking time, well, let me just show you. A Keemstar exposed video in 2020 looks like this.
Daniel Keem, aka Keemstar, the cockroach who will never die. Keemstar is a vile, disgusting, terrible human being. In fact, he's such a bad human being, I'd even go as far to say that, he's bad, dude. Yeah, for today's video, we're going to be exposing the atrocity that is Keemstar and his career. For starters, did I ever tell you guys about how he called some guy the N-word?
You can't say that. Black Lives Matter.
Oh yeah, that's right. Keemstar called our buddy Alex the N-word.
You fucking stupid bitch. This stupid fucking justice, all fucking righteous fucking nigga. Alex is doing this shit.
Oh yeah, let's not forget that time he falsely accused an old man of being a pedophile either. Oh, remember that time he smashed ice cream in some kid's face? Or what about that time he doxed Just Destiny? Don't forget that time.
Okay, so moving on to the nuclear fallout done by h3h3 on Keem as well, which is basically a sequel to the content, Nuke responding to Keemstar's response. So, yeah, let's just dig into those points as well, shall we?
But the most damning thing that he accused me of is killing Etika.
It's so cheap to try to boil down my entire 46-minute video to me saying you killed Etika, which is a point that I never even made, let's be honest.
So in this point, Ethan is saying that he didn't say that Keem killed Etika, although it is painfully obvious that he implied it.
Keemstar's greatest moment comes when he asks Etika in a manic state, why doesn't he just jump off a cliff?
If you really think about it, then why live? Just jump off a cliff. Just jump off a cliff. If it's just a simulation, who cares?
Of course, hypothetical, but it is quite a coincidence when you consider that only 51 days later, that very same YouTuber jumped off a bridge to his death.
Like, from what me and the other viewers saw, it doesn't take a genius or a detective to find stuff out like this. Like, implying something isn't that hard to figure out that you're implying it. Like, you just did it, and that's it. Okay, guys, I'd like to go back to the sponsors thing because this has something to do with G Fuel and the sponsors again. So, let's just play that relevant clip, shall we?
Let me address this head on. I am not someone that supports going after somebody's sponsors to try to cancel them for something bad they've said. G Fuel is as much a part of Keemstar's identity as his beard. He has it on his head in every video. He's got it on the desk in every video. It's very much a part of his identity. How am I supposed to criticize Keemstar and not address the fact that G Fuel is on his desk at every time? In the hurricane of destruction, there's always G Fuel sitting there on his desk.
Ethan says he's not one to talk about and go for people's sponsors, and then literally in the same sentence or the next sentence after talks about G Fuel being in the same brand, being the same brand as Keemstar because it's in every single one of his videos, and you know, how is he not gonna make fun of it? It's simple. Don't make fun of it. It's, you know, you're not making fun. You're like going after them. It's not that hard to just not mention them. It's a brand. They've got a reputation. Like, you've got your own brand. Once again, you should know this. However, I want to include that Keemstar a few years ago actually did the same thing and went after someone's sponsors, and now he's complaining that someone's going after his sponsors. It's a little bit hypocritical. However, as your mum should have taught you, 2 wrongs don't make a right. Okay, so yeah, that's been my bit. Once again, my name is Piku. Thank you, Jay, for letting me on the channel. If you want to subscribe to me, please do. My name is Piku on YouTube. You can look me up, or hopefully Jay's put me in the description. So yeah. See you later.
Hey guys, I'm going to be talking about something that's been on my mind for a bit of a while now. Now, I'm sure many of you know h3h3. He used to be a commentary channel and now he's a podcaster. Sorry, I just need to talk about this because we as a community are letting this happen, and you got to understand, this is awkward for me because I'm actually friends with these guys, and that makes it awkward and uncomfortable for me to be a part of. I'm sure some of you have heard of Killer Keemstar. h3h3 has made a bunch of videos on the guy, and it is really sad because Keemstar, not a lot of people know this about the guy, but he is actually a gnome, and that makes him very disabled. I mean, if we go to his channel, we can just see his video on Keemstar. These are all Keemstar videos that h3h3 has made, and this is just sad. It's just so mean. Like, he was making another video on someone else on the internet. Here is a video he made on someone that has autism. I'm sure most of you are aware at this point, but around 4 months ago, Leafy's channel was terminated off the website completely. Now, there isn't really specific reasons still up to date to why his channel was deleted, but I'm sure most of us have come to the conclusion that it was because he made around over 10 videos on Pokimane, basically going in hard with the situation. I'm sure if he watched this video, he would even agree with me and say that he did go pretty fucking hard on her. I'm sure many of us were upset when his channel was terminated, mostly because it was an iconic channel from back in the day of 2016, and had classic videos on the channel that we're never probably going to be able to see again on youtube.com. But it's hard to disagree with YouTube because their rules did specifically say, like, they're on their harassment policy. Leafy definitely did break that from the many videos he had made on Pokimane. Not too sure how many there were, but I'm pretty sure there were over 10 videos made on Pokimane on Leafy. Well, in every video that Leafy was making since his return, a clip at the end, he would show a clip of h3h3 basically saying, "I'd love to see him succeed in today's climate." I'm sure many of you have seen it. It's a meme that has been going on for a while. I mean, it's not really going on anymore since his channel's gone. Well, from h3h3's reaction to Leafy getting his channel terminated, I think it's safe to say you can clearly see he's excited by it.
Leafy literally, that clip in the beginning of that edit, Leafy put at the end of all of his videos of me saying, "I'd love to see Leafy try and exist in today's current landscape." It didn't bother me, actually. I thought it was funny and fair, you know, to try. But the problem is that when you invest so heavily in that, and then when you do get banned, you look like a fucking idiot. I'm sorry, dude. I was right. I mean, it's just, I feel like I'm not getting enough credit for that I was right. And like the dude, he invested so much in this meme. Every video. I was right the whole fucking time, dude. So, I mean, I feel like I get a little bit of a right to tweet this because a lot of people were angry somehow that I tweeted this. I would love to see Leafy try and exist in today's current climate.
And then some people were saying that you're celebrating his ban.
How am I celebrating? I'm literally, am I not entitled? After this guy put this in every single one of his videos for what, 140 days or whatever he said, that I don't even get to it. I have a moral obligation to tweet this. Do you understand? I have a personal obligation to tweet this.
Which is fine. He has every right to be excited about it. I mean, they were not friends. They were in fact enemies. I mean, I'd understand his excitement, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't agree with h3h3 on this point. It does 100% make Leafy look stupid, especially because he was rubbing it in his face so much in every single video, and it turned out that Ethan was in fact right. The reason I'm bringing this up is because of this.
So, first of all, one of the things that I constantly hear is that he was banned without any warning. Here he's on Drama Alert.
Did you have any strikes prior to your channel being terminated? Because I know you got some in the past, but like you complained to YouTube and they reversed them so that they made a mistake.
No, I had one, I think, warning, but I had no strikes besides that. So, yeah, it was super random, dude.
What do you think a warning means? That doesn't sound like it was random at all.
A warning sounds like a warning to me.
A warning literally means that you're on thin ice.
Mm-hmm.
It was super random, bro. They told me not to do that, and they gave me an official warning. I was so shocked. I totally didn't see this coming. I was blocked. I had a bunch of videos removed. I had a warning. I totally didn't see this coming.
Yes, Ethan, we know the definition of what a warning is, but you're leaving out a bit of fucking detail of why you get warnings on YouTube. I myself have a warning on YouTube for a video I did around 2 years ago. It wasn't fitted in their guidelines anymore, so it was removed. And that's because one of my hardcore videos that I did around 2 years ago was like hardcore clickbait to the point where it was not even like misleading, it was just lying, so I got a warning for that, which I totally understand, to be honest. So if my channel got terminated tomorrow, apparently I should be expecting this because I had a warning now. The situations are completely different. Leafy could have got a warning for a video he made around 5 or 4 years ago. We don't know what that warning's for. It's essentially getting a strike. It's just an extra strike, to be honest. It's without any fucking punishments except for the fact that the warning stays on your channel forever. So let's just say that Leafy's video he made on the Pokemon Go kid gets taken down. In fact, he gets a warning for that, and he gets 3 more strikes all at once for Pokemon. How is that a fucking warning of the situation when it was a completely different situation? How is that a warning of the situation at all? It gives you a warning for the first video, not a fucking situation. So all the people saying that he got a warning and stuff like that, don't be fucking stupid. He had a warning for a completely different video. You don't even know what the fucking warning was for. Like, are we really surprised that someone like Leafy even had a warning? I mean, his videos from back in the day were fucking just wow. I'm sorry if I'm coming across a bit angry to some people, but it's just the fact that everyone that talks about this just says that Leafy had a warning. He was warned about the situation. Leafy was warned. With that logic, if my channel was to get taken down, I was warned around a year ago about this, so I had it coming. No, bitch, no! So h3h3 had made this tweet about Leafy and Keemstar saying this. Leafy confesses he went to the protest with an illegally concealed gun, saying he was looking for someone to give me an excuse to shoot them. Truly disturbing. And here's the clip that Ethan showed.
Wait a minute. How did you get enough balls to go to the protest? Because, like, there was a protest or riot in your area, and I remember you went there.
Well, I'm not that frail, and on top of that, dude, I fucking own guns and shit. Like, I literally went there with a fucking gun in a holster. I don't know if I can say this out loud, but, like, I don't have a concealed weapons permit, but I don't really give a shit, dude. I have a gun, I have a holster, you know, I come from fucking Utah. My family has guns, right? So, like, yeah, I just showed up with that shit and, like, underneath my jacket.
That was crazy that night. I really thought something bad was going to happen to you because you were showing videos of, like, helicopters above you and shit, cops everywhere.
Bro, I wasn't on the front lines or whatever, but I did see a police car on fire. Like, that's the most shit I saw, right? I mean, in truth, I don't know if this can even go on Storyfire, but I just want one day in my life for someone to give me an excuse to shoot them. Is that an extreme opinion? Probably. Bro, that was a late laugh, dude. People are gonna think I'm like George fucking Zimmerman or something. That was a joke, bro. Kind of.
The craziest part is that Keemstar manually uploaded this to Storyfire. Yes, he did. Leafy said that. And whether you want to take it serious or not, when I saw this, did not take it seriously whatsoever. I think it's clear to many people that Leafy is not a shooter. Saying that he wants to know what it's like to shoot someone is not disturbing at all. It's just Leafy being his fucking edgy self. Sure, he says he's not joking, but fucking hell, Ethan, chill out. I'm sure after this was uploaded to Storyfire, Ethan didn't get his fucking gun out ready to go shoot a fucking fat man or something. I don't know. It just comes across that you're really trying to push this narrative that Leafy and Keem are bad people, as if people don't even know that already. We know they're bad. Thank you for that. This really changed my mind. Leafy and Keem are assholes, but they do their job on the internet, which is to entertain people, and they do it pretty fucking well, unlike you and your boring podcast. I forgot to mention, guys, that this does make Ethan a bit of a hypocrite. Just a tiny bit. I can't stress how tiny it is at all.
Trump or Hillary?
Drumpf.
Leafy or rice gum?
Leafy. Leafy.
What's this? Saying people's names and then shooting a gun? A real gun too, in a video uploaded onto YouTube.com? That is fucking truly disturbing, guys. That is just wow. I would not want my kid watching Ethan or iDubbbz. Bloody hell, they're going around shooting people. I think someone needs to get onto the phone to the SWAT team or something, guys, and tell them that they're gonna go shoot people. Well, not even just that. They're gonna shoot Leafy. Leafy, if I was you, I should definitely get on the phone to the police and have a word about that, because that is just bad. Psst, retards. That's sarcasm. Look it up. Just a quick note, guys. Gokanaru's video on h3h3 was taken down for simulated violence. What the fuck is this, then?
Leafy.
I mean, I'm not surprised. I'm pretty sure Susan Wojcicki is underneath the desk of every h3h3 podcast, basically sucking his dick and licking Healer's pussy in every single episode. It's probably why they're so quiet. It's because they're trying to enjoy that lovely tongue from Susan Wojcicki. h3h3 then posted another tweet onto his Twitter showing a picture of Leafy's Instagram. Leafy posted this on his Instagram this morning. Leafy replied by saying this: I can't take a picture of my guns or I can't make jokes. Why do you even hate me so much? Laughing my fucking arse off. h3h3 then responds by saying no reason, and he has a screenshot of Leafy's comment section to the picture of him and his gun. Leafy's on his way to YouTube headquarters. Leafy is armed. School shooter vibes. Heart face. So yeah, Leafy, don't post any more pictures of your guns. That's very naughty and illegal on your Instagram because Ethan is in charge of you. Yeah.
Okay, so the internet is pretty much kind of all on the same page here. They blame h3h3 for the reason Leafy's channel is down. So because of this, h3h3 starts spinning this narrative, right? Me and Leafy are friends. I help out Leafy. Leafy definitely helps out me. I go on Leafy's show. I went on his YouTube channel. I go on his live streams. He comes on my shows. He comes on my podcast. That's kind of how friendship works, right? But h3h3 tries to spin this narrative, I can't believe this, that Keemstar has set up Leafy to purposely get him banned and to use him. Listen to this.
Understand? I mean, dude, your buddy Leafy could have used your insight, man. You had an awakening. Why didn't you tell Leafy about it?
Well, isn't it interesting
I'm
that
the fucking bad guy.
Keem is the one that kind of like instigated this whole thing? So he kind of baited Leafy into getting into kamikazing his channel in a way.
Dan, 1 billion%.
1 billion%. 1 billion%. Who benefits from this? You know what I would benefit? I would benefit more if Leafy, all right, the person that I work with on clothing brand and everything else, right, had a YouTube channel with 5 million subscribers. That's how I would benefit the most, not his channel getting taken down. But listen to this wild theory of the person that's being accused of taking down Leafy.
Keemstar. Who started the Pokemon rumor that she has a boyfriend?
No. I didn't start a rumor, right? She does have a boyfriend. She has a boyfriend. It's not a rumor.
Keemstar basically got Leafy banned, or put him up to it. I feel like Keemstar totally puppet mastered Leafy. He's using.
You can't make this shit up. Look at him. He's lying through his teeth, so he has to look over to his wife like, agree with me? Look at her. She's like,
Fucking idiot. You know, I would love to see Leafy try to exist in the landscape today. Like, the content that he was making would never fly on YouTube today, and you have to adapt and overcome the fact that, like, can't even curse, bro. Like, I don't even know. I don't know if I've mentioned this, but Keemstar's a very bad person. I don't like him. What do you think, Healer? Yeah, he's very bad man. He called Tony pedo 4 years ago. Very bad. So in other news, Shoe Nice is a deranged alcoholic, and it's funny that he has mental issues. Lol. ProJared is an American game channel that got himself into a bit of hot water last year when his wife had accused him of being an abusive husband and some other complete horse shit that was said against him.
Now, Jared, what fascinates me too is, like, this is the guy at the center of this. By the way, this is the picture he chooses to put on all of his videos. Well, I've seen pictures of him that aren't this bad, but I find it fascinating that this is, of all of them, is the one he chooses to present to the world. Then it comes out that ProJared has been soliciting not safe for work pictures from fans and has sent a few of his own. Worse still, these were sent while he was married. Heidi was, however, fully aware that he was sexting with fans for a few years. which to me is a huge question
weird.
mark.
A lot of people are taking this as facts about what people will be saying about ProJared, and this caused him to lose a lot of subscribers, declining his channel, and just skyrocketing down. His channel was pretty much going down a downward spiral. A YouTuber by the name of Bernie TXT had done a collab video of Turkey Tom where they had basically covered the whole situation and debunked everything that was said against ProJared.
There's a lot of things to say about ProJared's situation, like that he epitomizes cancel culture, and that the narrative everyone bought into, many still to this day, was fabricated. In this video, we're going to attempt to correct the record and set some things straight, as well as analyze what made ProJared's scandal reach so many eyes.
Not long after this video had come out, ProJared had actually made a response video basically addressing everything that had happened in that video, and basically saying most of the things that they had said was true.
Give me for anything too. And there will still be people who are still angry about it or won't accept the nudes blog thing or whatever, and that's okay. They are allowed to feel how they feel. The next time you see someone being canceled with the mob attacking them and going after them, ask, what's the other side's story? Is there more to this? How do you know they deserve to be bullied and shamed? Through evidence or through public opinion?
After this, many people had actually made apology videos addressing the whole ProJared situation because they had all felt sorry for him. One of these people that had addressed the situation that did not apologise was Ethan Klein.
Now, how long's it been since the ProJared controversy happened? It's been a long
That was in
time.
May.
I find it funny, he goes, not one person reached out to me. Not one person. And he showed a picture of us, our podcast.
Amongst others that talked about him.
Yeah, but I'm like, dude, you didn't speak. If you would have put out a statement, I would have covered it. You didn't say anything. So, okay, what misinformation did I spread about Jared? I think none. I was reporting what happened, talking about how crazy it was, how the kickback, I had never seen anything like that, losing 25% of your fan base in a day or whatever.
Ethan just couldn't bring himself just to apologise. Ethan basically was backtracking on the whole situation by just saying he was reporting on it, so he can't be held accountable for anything because he was just reporting on it. Now, the like to dislike ratio isn't the best, I must say. The dislikes pretty much conclude to why he's a bit of a dick. I mean, you can make your own conclusions to that video, but to me it's very obvious that he's a bit of a dick. Now, this is where Ethan's hypocrisy is really highlighted. Now, let's see how the situation would be if the tables were turned, where someone is reporting about h3h3, not addressing it as a fact, but addressing something as something that had been happening in the community. Let's see how it had been if the tables had turned.
Because you have people like Keemstar and Scares who are your peers, and they'll DM you. Like Keemstar DM'd me 2 days ago, and he's like, hey, how are you, buddy? I haven't talked to you in a while. And I'm like, I'm fine, dude. And then the next day, he's like, H3's a hypocrite. I didn't watch the podcast, but this guy says he's a hypocrite, and I didn't have any content today, so I'm going to post a video, and I don't really care about what it actually means. I'm news, but I don't actually look at things beyond surface value. I'm Keemstar. I make news for 12-year-olds.
So yeah, basically, Keemstar had reported that people were calling h3h3 a hypocrite for something he had done. Keemstar never said himself in his video that h3 was a hypocrite. He had just addressed that people were calling him a hypocrite.
Okay, h3h3, let's get real. Did I call you a hypocrite? Let's find out.
How h3h3 uploaded this podcast to YouTube and it has over 13,000 dislikes. I have never seen h3h3 or Ethan get this much hate. People are furious with him because he went hard at PewDiePie, saying, well, this is what he said. Roll it.
I don't think Felix is a racist person, but god damn, he really kind of just was really comfortable using that word. Like, you're reaching for all these words, right? And you're like, oh, let me just like a little N-bomb for you. I mean, I know this is a point a lot of people say, but it certainly seems like it's not the first time he's used that word in that context. Yeah, man, he really just dropped the N-bomb, like, straight up. And the way he used it was just awful.
Now, the reason why people are so mad is because they think that Ethan, h3h3, is being a hypocrite because on his podcast, he said the N-word too.
Now, am I saying that you're being a hypocrite? No, I am not. I am saying that people are mad at you and they're disliking your podcast because they are claiming that you are a hypocrite. Let's just search h3h3 hypocrisy, okay? Look at all these videos. Look at all these videos. This is just this week. This is just this week. Ethan, I call myself a news source because I report the news. And this is the news. People are calling you a hypocrite. Not me, but people in the community are. And they're making videos on it. And I'm reporting what's actually taking place.
Ironic, isn't it?
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. I have a boyfriend.
I do too.
God, so cringy.
Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if he did.
How many views does this have, Hila?
3 million.
3 million.
This is a man that's willing to endanger children over a petty internet beef.
Now, Ethan had brought to light a criminal just to get back on Keemstar and some petty YouTube beef. And I wish that was a fucking joke. Now, Ethan showed a clip from a gentleman by the name of BritBong. He had titled the video on his Twitter, "The video that Keemstar does not want you to see." Just to give you some examples of how this guy is a criminal, this is just a list of things that I found that he has done. Doxing, false flagging, raiding Discord servers, and even allegedly sending child porn to YouTubers. Why does he do this? Because he's not all there in the head. He's pretty much someone that has mental issues and definitely needs to seek help by like some sort of psychiatrist or something. What makes this even worse is that h3h3 knows what this guy is like. He knows that he's a dick. He knows that he's doxed people and stuff like that. And how do I know that he knows? Because Keemstar had made a tweet about how BritBong was doxing, and h3h3 had replied to that by saying, "So he does what you do." So he was informed about some of the stuff that he had done and still ignored it all just so it fits his narrative of how Keemstar's a complete asshole. Keem also explains of how he was doxing Colossal is crazy. Going back to the child porn thing, even though this is an alleged thing, it's still like a bit shady to even talk about it. Ethan states that Keemstar is a danger to children, but yet he's promoting someone who had allegedly spread child pornography.
This is a man that's willing to endanger children over a petty internet beef.
So h3h3 is saying that Keemstar is a danger to children when he's promoting someone like BritBong. Keemstar had made a Twitter video responding to Ethan's tweet, obviously promoting BritBong.
Ethan, I unblocked you to make sure you get this message, all right? I'm not going to say this individual's YouTuber name, but everyone should know who I'm talking about. You started promoting this individual that was claiming that I deplatformed him, right? Which is kind of true, all right? And when you started promoting that individual, myself, Clown, Nerd, everybody reached out to you and said, "Don't do that. The guy that you're promoting is a psychopath. The guy that you're promoting sends fake DMC takedowns to YouTubers, spams Twitch streamers with CP, just horrible stuff, doxing, swatting, the whole 9 yards. Everybody told you not to do this, and you kept building it up, right? You thought that, oh, I'm going to use this against Keemstar, and it's going to be so good. Well, now you've built that guy up, right? And he's jumping in Discords. He's false flagging, doing DMC takedowns, or false DMC takedowns, and he's harassing multiple creators, right? And it's not bad for the creators. It's obviously bad for him because, these crimes are going to be reported to the police, but it's also bad for you. You're responsible for this, you dumb motherfucker, right? We're in a fight. We're in a feud. And I was able to just take all my pride aside and be like, send you that DM that I sent you on Twitter saying, hey, don't build that guy up. Don't. That guy's a horrible guy. For the sake of the community, don't do it. And you just wouldn't listen, all right? And that little thing that you had against me that you were going to use to try to hurt me is now hurting you because you're responsible for all this dumb shit. Man, didn't you have a lawsuit about someone, trying to take down your video or flag your video? And you're building up a guy that's false flagging people with false DMCA takedowns? And then the CP, aren't you a father? You're a father and you're building up a guy that's spreading child porn? Are you Dude, how many L's can you fucking take? Next time I put all my shit aside and try to warn you, listen,
Listen.
And Ethan's response to this was to, of course, block Keemstar and essentially just ignore his response and don't even address it. h3h3 didn't even just put this on his Twitter. He had also made a YouTube video about it, and this was the title. So obviously he's really trying to push this narrative that Keem's a bad man. Ethan, we get it. You hate Keemstar, but can you not do it by promoting a criminal, please? Okay, maybe you're not convinced yet that BritBong's a bad person. Okay, let me just show you this. Here's a clip of BritBong spamming Leafy's Twitter to get it taken down, and here's his reaction to when he got a notification that his report was sent to, of course, Twitter.
Oh, and by the way, look who I reported on Twitter. Oh, Leafy, what happened, mate? You got banned? Oh, kill yourself, kid. Kill yourself, kid. What's going on, big guy? Did you get banned by any chance? Oh, help me, help me. Did you get banned, mate? Did you get banned? Did you get banned, buddy? Oh, so you got banned, mate. Oh, crazy. Well, I guess maybe we can ask Keemstar to unban you, bro. Like how Keemstar got my accounts banned multiple times. Anyway, did he get beamed? Don't know. He didn't get banned, but he got a warning. Well, better report him again then. Better report him again then. Alright.
A YouTuber that goes by the name of Some Ordinary Gamer had this to say about Ethan.
He wants to just paint some narrative, all right? He'll use whatever evidence is tossed towards his side to use against Keemstar. And the problem with it is that evidence, especially in this case, he's now platforming somebody who has done pretty fucking heinous shit. And it's almost like, you know, I don't believe that he doesn't know how bad this person is, personally. I have to believe that after all of us in the community message... No, I believe
he was warned back in May.
Okay, he was told, not just from me, but from like multiple other commentators, multiple other large figures in the community. Now, whether he wanted to accept that or not because of associations, or whether he truly believed that, you know, we were speaking of true intentions or whatever, I don't care. But like at the end of the day, retweeting that, I gotta agree with Nick over here, retweeting it and constantly pushing it now, it seems as though it's, in his mind, in his view, it's trying to get that one up over Keem. But I mean, this is not something you can let fly, because this is a very dangerous individual, right? It's like, why are you now platforming a guy that has this much baggage? And I personally can't believe that Ethan doesn't know this to an extent. He has to know. Like, we've told him, whether he chooses to believe it or not, is his prerogative.
And here's also a clip of him doxing Colossal Crazy's brother, saying that he has all of his information.
I'm not the one to dox people that I used to know, man, but still, you know, Colossal, mate, I know everything about you. I know your dad's name, I know every one of your fucking I know your brother, I know where your brother lives, I know everything about you, mate. Mate, you know, I could do so much stuff.
And Ethan had seen that clip and had replied to it by saying, so he does what you do, because Keemstar had tweeted it out. So obviously, we all know that Ethan is aware about how BritBong's a bit fucked up. And yes, I know the position I'm putting myself in by talking about BritBong. Ah, fuck. If you want to learn more about the BritBong situation, Bo Black's made an amazing video that I'm going to leave in the description down below, that it basically goes through all the tweets and all the information about BritBong if you want to go more in depth onto it. I hope a lot of you watching this can see how h3h3 is a hypocrite of a lot of the stuff I've been showing, because if you don't see how he's a hypocrite, then I've honestly lost hope for humanity. I'm moving to Mars, I swear to God. BetterHelp was a scam company that they used YouTubers to promote their brand and obviously get money, of course, because that's what people that scam do. They try and get money, and this is exactly what BetterHelp was trying to do. BetterHelp was supposedly going to be a website where you could sign up to online therapy and get treatment by people that were apparently fully trained psychologists to help people with depression and so on. This turned out to be a massive scam and didn't help anyone. Obviously, it didn't help anyone with their depression or any issues that they had personally going on in their life. In fact, it probably made a lot of people worse from the beginning before they signed up to BetterHelp, because it's given them false hope of them getting better, and since the treatment that they were getting was not helping them at all, probably gave them false hope, which is just frankly disgusting. And one of these people were h3h3.
Thank you to BetterHelp for sponsoring this episode of the H3 Podcast. I need some BetterHelp. I am anxious right now. But this is one of these genius services. It's online counseling. They've got fully licensed counselors ready to consult with at any time. You get access to licensed, trained, fully accredited counselors and therapists. LGBTQ plus friendly. Basically, whoever you are, what religion you are, couples, anything, boom, they've got you covered with fully trained therapists to talk to you. But this is a beautiful thing about this service. You're online, You can have a video, you can have a chat, whatever you're comfortable with, whatever level with. They're there to help you out. A lot of people are not comfortable talking to therapists. So the best way to do it, to get in the door, is with BetterHelp.
Now, I don't have an issue with this because obviously I don't think Ethan knew that this was a scam, and he was also lied to by the company just like how we were. It's the fact that he failed to give any responsibility for the situation after it came out as to be a scam.
So obviously we as business owners and as entertainers are not going to read the terms of service of all of our partners. That's insane. Nobody has time for that. So we entrust our agency to verify the legitimacy of these companies, and I don't think they failed in this case. I mean, we think about it too. I don't just pass the buck completely to them.
Yeah.
I make a conscious decision to work with someone or not.
Hey, yeah, that's true. You don't obviously check every single terms and conditions on every single website that wants to sponsor you. And maybe you should do that. I don't know. I've never been sponsored before. I don't know if you should do that as a big brand company. It sounds responsible to do so. But obviously you have enough money to hire people to look into this shit for you. So why can't you just do that? And addressing the situation, you just failed to apologise for it completely. Of all the people that you probably gave false hope, of depressed fans, you're open about your depression, and they probably assumed that you also used the website and they thought they could get help too throughout this website. Failing to take accountability makes you just look really bad, and this obviously, in my opinion, makes Ethan look bad. An apology was all that was needed with this. You didn't need to mention of how you didn't read into the terms and conditions. Like, should we even trust you when you advertise something? Should we even look into the company itself? It might be a complete scam again. If you're not looking into this sort of stuff, yes, I know other people were scammed also by BetterHelp. It wasn't, of course, just Ethan, but it's just the way he says that he doesn't read the terms and conditions of every single place that tries to sponsor him. Does that make the products that he's showing us even trustworthy at this point if we can't even trust Ethan? In this case, I don't think so.
Says is he speaks it like it's true fact, and he always takes like the most negative possible way. So he says, Ethan, you could help items make his video. That's not true. He literally said, hey, you want to do this shot with me? Looking at the poster, just like a little Easter egg. What people have been saying about me recently? That I'm a hypocrite, that I prioritize money over everything else, that I've thrown friends under the bus, that I'm ignorant and poorly informed, and spread misinformation, that I'm arrogant, that I cannot handle criticism, and that I've used people. And let me just say this, okay, for the record, that I am guilty of all of those things. And I'm not going to quantify it or make excuses or anything. I am not someone that supports going after somebody's sponsors to try to cancel them for something bad they've said. He's got a bottle of G Fuel somewhere in his house that's actually a Horcrux. How is G Fuel still sponsor this guy, by the way? G Fuel brought to you by false pedophilia accusations. Chug it, G Fuel. That I have nothing personal about James Charles. And my intention with this of calling him out was not, I really wanted to avoid drama. Submit your favorite H3 hate videos to podcast at h3h3productions. I'm serious, submit them. And if you guys like this, I'll watch another one. You know, I would love, people saying, oh, Leafy, come back. I would love to see Leafy come back and try to exist in the landscape today. Like, the content that he was making would never fly on YouTube today. And you have to adapt and overcome the fact that, like, you can't even curse, bro. Like, I don't know. And like the dude, he invested so much in this meme. Every video. I was right the whole fucking time.
It all comes full circle eventually. And h3h3, give us a hug.